So this is the 2014 Junior Cert Higher Level Paper 1, and we're looking at question number 7. Last year Elena had a gross income of €36,960. She had to pay Universal Social Charge, USC, and income tax on her gross income. The rates and bands of USC are as follows. So the income bands up to 10,036, there's a rate of 2% USC. Between 10,036 and 16,016, we have a rate of 4% USC, and above 16,016, we have a rate of 7% USC. Part 1 says find the amount of USC that was deducted from Elena's gross income last year. Okay, well, the first 10,036 was at 2%, so you can multiply 10,036 by 2% on your calculator, or indeed by 0.02. But if you're using the percentage button, that gives you a value of €200.72. Between 10,036 and 16,016, so 16,016 minus the 10,036, that gives you a value of 5,980. So that's how much 5,980 is charged at a rate of 4%. So 5,980 by 4%, or by 0.04 on your calculator, gives you 239.20. So that's the USC for that band. And then finally above 16,016, so that would be the gross income of 36,960. Subtract the 16,016, which gives us 20,944. So 20,944 will be charged at 7% USC. So multiplying that by 7% gives us 1466 and 8 cents. So the total USC will be these three figures added together. So these three figures here. So when we add them up, we get €1,906. So that's the USC and the end of part 1. Part 2, the standard rate of income tax was 20% and the higher rate was 41%. The standard rate cutoff point was €32,800. Elena paid a total of €4,965.60 income tax last year. Find Elena's tax credits for the year. So we're trying to find her tax credits. Okay, so the standard rate cutoff point was 32,800. So 32,800 at 20% income tax, so that's the standard rate of income tax. That gives us 6,560. Now the rest of her salary, which would be the 36,960 minus the 32,800, that's already been taxed. That leaves us with 4,160. So 4,160 will be taxed at the higher rate of 41%. And that gives us a value of 17.05 and 60 cents. So if we add those two together, we'll get our gross tax. So when we add those two together, we end up with gross tax of 8,265 and 60 cents. So that's our gross tax in euro. Now, we're told that Elena paid a total of 4,965.60 income tax. So if that's what she paid and this was the gross tax, the difference will be the tax credits. So the tax credits, which is the money you don't pay tax on, is equal to the 8,265 gross tax minus the income tax she paid, which is given in the question, 4,965.60. When we work this out in our calculator, we get 3,300 euro. So that's her tax credits, 3,300. And finally, part 3 says find Elena's total deduction, that's USC and income tax, as a percentage of her gross income, and give your answer correct to the nearest percent. So the total deduction, if we go back, the total deduction was 1906 for USC and the 4,965.60 for income tax. So that's 1906 plus 4,965.60 total deductions. When we add them together, we get 6,871.60. And they're asking us to find that, the total deduction, as a percentage of the gross income. So if we're writing that as a percentage of the gross income, we're going to put it as a fraction over the gross. So the gross income was 36,960. And if we're expressing it as a percentage, we're going to multiply that by 100. So when we put all of this then into the calculator, you get 18.59, and on it goes. But they've asked us to give the answer correct to the nearest percent. So to the nearest percent, that will be, we look to the digit after the decimal. Does this 5 increase the 8 in front? Well, yes, it does. So it's 19% to the nearest percent. And that's the end of question 7.